You're listening to the Online Business Blueprint brought to you by PlatformLaunchers.com. I am John Stange, and it's great to be with you this week because we're going to talk about building, growing, and monetizing your online platform, taking your passion, turning it into a platform, helping you earn a paycheck as we build your online business. And this week, our subject is the concept of going viral, specifically how to create viral content. Now, I thought about what I should title this week's podcast. And I thought, let's just call it what it is, how to create viral content. And basically, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide. I'm just going to walk you through 15 things that will contribute to your content going viral. I don't know if you want your content to go viral. My suspicion is you probably do. If you create digital content, you probably want it to go viral because viral content can turn into a springboard that helps people discover all the other things that you've created. And if you have online services and products and things like that, it can introduce people to your ecosystem of content and services and really bring you quite far in earning that paycheck that you're looking to earn. So that's what we're going to talk about. This idea of how to create viral content. I'm going to give you 15 steps here. We're going to work our way through this rather quickly, but I hope you find this helpful. Now, when you think of the digital landscape today, when you just think about how everything is set up, some people would look at creating viral content and say, all right, that's the holy grail of marketing. That's the main thing. They want to see that in marketing. They want to see that in their social media. They want to see that in their branding. They want something to go viral. Viral content, we know it spreads rapidly. At times, it might reach thousands of people. At times, maybe what you're creating could reach millions of people. And on top of that, it might create really healthy engagement with your online platform, with your online business. But the question I often get is, okay, I guess we all want that to some degree, but how do you create content that has the capability of captivating audiences and then also compels them to share that content so that what you've created actually has the chance to go viral? Well, there's no guaranteed formula exactly for virality, but there are some proven strategies. And these are things that absolutely will increase your chance of success. And so I'm going to spend some time here walking us through these things. If you've been familiar with my story, you know that I've been creating online content for a while now. For the better part of a decade, a little bit more, I've been creating various forms of online content. Podcasts, big part of that, but also blogs and books and other content. And videos as well. And I have noticed that several patterns seem to be common among either my social media posts or my blog posts or my videos or my podcasts that go viral. If they go viral, there tends to be some commonality. And virality, isn't that a funny word, virality? But that's the word I'm going to use to describe this as a theme. It's not as elusive as some people assume. So as I mentioned, I create various forms of content. I do that daily. So every day I'm creating that content. And in doing that, I've grown somewhat used to pieces of content occasionally going viral. My content doesn't always go viral, but every now and then, and it seems to be picking up with more regularity, I'm seeing that where something will catch on and all of a sudden it just seems like out of the blue, something blew up. I had two things over the course of the past few weeks that had exceptional growth to them. One of them was trending online, and I was pretty excited about that. But I will tell you this, virality, even though I like it when it happens, it's not my primary aim when I'm writing and recording. I treat it like a happy byproduct of creating consistent content. So let me walk you through. I'm going to do this really quickly, so just follow along with me. Probably kind of a long list to be doing this with, but I'm just going to give you the list. 15 is what it is. I'm going to walk you through what I consider the 15 essential elements of creating viral content, and this is how it goes. So number one on the list is this: understand your audience. So start off with understanding your audience. So before you create content of any kind, you really do want to know your target audience. And your target audience might be people just like you or someone like you from 2 years ago. But you want to know their interests or their pain points or their values, things like that. Because if you understand your audience, what you're going to do is you're going to end up being able to successfully tailor your content to resonate with their emotions and tailor your content to resonate with their needs. You can utilize tools like Google Analytics. You could use social media insights. You could use surveys, whatever it takes. If you feel like doing a little research to gather some data on your audience's behavior and your preferences. But here's what I also say, and I do this more than I use Google Analytics or anything like that. Don't be afraid to trust your gut as well. If you are connecting with your audience regularly, I am sure you have a good handle on what they value. So it begins with number one, understand your audience. And then let's jump right into number two. And number two is this: create emotionally engaging content. Now, I don't consider myself an unemotional person, nor do I consider myself an overly emotional person. But I will tell you this: if you notice what gets shared online, emotions drive sharing. Emotions drive sharing, just like emotions drive many of our personal purchases in the consumer world. Emotions also drive sharing when it comes to online content. So when you're creating content that evokes strong emotions, whether that's happiness or surprise or sadness or anger or even awe, it is more likely to go viral if it is emotionally engaging. There have been various studies that have looked into this, and they have noticed that people are much more inclined to share content that makes them feel deeply connected to a cause or deeply connected to something that they're entertained by or inspired by. So do things like incorporate storytelling, humor, heartfelt messages, different things like that, because doing that is going to help you tap into your audience's emotions. So understand your audience and then create emotionally engaging content, not dull content, not boring content, emotionally engaging content. Number three on the list is this, and this is huge in the video world, in the podcast world, and in the blogging world: craft compelling headlines. I was just talking about this with one of the classes that I teach at Cairn University. The importance of crafting compelling headlines. A great headline is the first thing people notice. And by the way, I mentioned that over the past few weeks, I had two pieces of content go viral. I had a podcast go viral, and I had a blog post go viral. Both pleasantly surprised that they went viral, but when I look back and just kind of analyzed it a little bit, I realized that one of the big parts of what helped it go viral was the headline. The headline is what caused people to click on it, whether it be via the podcast or whether it be through the blog post. A great headline is the first thing people notice. So if your headline does not grab attention, your content, even if it's good, it might never get clicked, and it certainly isn't going to get shared. So use some curiosity, use maybe numbers. I'll show you a few examples of this in just a second. Use curiosity, use numbers, use what some people call power words to make your headlines irresistible. Let me give you three quick examples. How about a headline like this: 10 secrets to instantly boost your productivity. 10 secrets to instantly boost your productivity. That's something that's very clear, uses a number, and you've got some power words in there. How about this? A headline that says something like, "You won't believe what this dog did to save its owner." Well, if you love dogs, if you just are a compassionate person, that might be something that you find compelling, certainly worth clicking on. It arouses curiosity. That's like a curiosity developing headline. How about this one? The ultimate guide to eliminating consumer debt. The ultimate guide to eliminating consumer debt. You can see power words in there, and the ultimate, right? And eliminate, those would be power words. The ultimate guide to eliminating consumer debt. So the idea is, and it's number three on my list, craft compelling headlines. If you don't craft compelling headlines, people are not going to click on your content. I'm just going to keep burning through the list here. You ready? Here's number 4 of 15. Leverage trending topics. Now, I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I do this. Leverage trending topics. Creating content around topics that are trending at any given moment, it really does increase your chances of going viral, because there are topics that people are searching for at any given time. And you could probably think of a few news headlines right now that have gripped people's attention. If you wrote or recorded something related to one of those headlines, odds of your content going viral increase. You can monitor trends and see what's happening. There's Google Trends that'll help you do that. There's also a service called BuzzSumo that you could use to monitor trends. But what you do is when you align your content with a trending event or a trending meme, sometimes like a meme will go viral that you could align your content with, or a trending challenge, anything like that, it becomes immediately more relevant. It also becomes immediately more shareable because people are talking about that subject. So notice trends and then leverage trending topics. That's number 4. Let's jump to number 5. Number 5 on the list is use high-quality visuals and videos. Visual content, so that could be images, infographics, videos, anything like that, it does tend to perform better than something that is text only. Images get people's attention, and videos in particular have a higher engagement rate and are more likely to be shared. That is more commonly what's being shared, we'll say specifically on social media. Right now, everybody's enamored with video. So whatever visuals you use, and I use visuals with my blogs and stuff like that as well, just make sure your visuals are high quality, eye-catching, and optimized for different platforms, especially if you share on different platforms. I'll give you a tip. I often find very useful high-quality visuals for my blog posts in particular, but I also use these sometimes for thumbnails for videos. I find a lot of them on Pixabay. So it's spelled Pixabay, Pixabay.com. And they have tons of royalty-free images that you're welcome to download and use however you feel led. So check that out, Pixabay.com. Tons of free royalty-free images. I find lots of good stuff on there. But that's number 5. Use high-quality visuals and videos. Let's jump to number 6. Number 6 is this: keep it simple and digestible. Attention spans are short. And, I'm even wondering how many people, when they clicked on this either via video or podcast or even those that'll read the blog post will be like, I don't know, 15 things. Can he just like boil it down to 1 or 2 things? No, this list is going to be 15 long. But I would say, even if you're creating a longer list, keep the individual content in each part simple and digestible. Keep it simple and digestible because attention spans are short. And if your content is too complex or too lengthy, people may lose interest. So where it's possible, use concise language, use bullet points, use short paragraphs to make your content easy to read and easy to share. I think infographics, and I don't know if you're familiar with this word, I might be teaching you a new word here, listicles. So think about that. What do you think that means? Listicles, infographics and listicles also work well when you're breaking down complex topics. By the way, what I'm giving you right now is a listicle. It's an article that's like a list. So it's just, some people call those things listicles. So this in blog form, you'll find it at platformlaunchers.com. If you read this content in blog form, it would be considered a listicle. So keep it simple, keep it digestible. All right, number 7, we're almost at the halfway point. Incorporate a call to action, sometimes abbreviated as CTA. Incorporate a call to action if you want your content to go viral. You want to encourage your audience to share and to comment and tag their friends. That's oftentimes the kind of call to action that people will request their audience to engage in. And a simple call to action, maybe just at the bottom of your post, whatever kind of post it is, that says, hey, tag someone who needs to see this, or share this with your friends if you agree. Something like that, it can significantly boost engagement. Calls to action, CTAs, they give your audience a reason to interact with your content. And it may seem too simple to work, but I promise you, it does work. It works well. Call to actions frequently convert. So do that. Include a call to action. Incorporate that in what you're sharing. We're over the hump now. We're on number 8. Number 8 is this: optimize for social media platforms. If you want your content to go viral, optimize for social media platforms, because different platforms have different algorithms and different content preferences. So take the time to learn what those algorithms look like and what those content preferences are on the platforms that you choose to engage with. Here's a quick breakdown, though. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a cheat sheet here if you're trying to optimize your content for social media platforms. First of all, Facebook. What works well on Facebook? Well, engaging videos work well on Facebook. Relatable memes definitely work on Facebook. Emotionally driven stories, they all perform well. That's a good Facebook approach. How about Instagram? Well, Instagram loves high quality images and reels and interactive stories. But let's say you're using X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're using X, what works there? Well, typically short, witty posts. I guess we don't call them tweets anymore. So short, witty posts, those things tend to boost visibility, right? What about TikTok? Admittedly, by the way, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, but if you use TikTok, what works there? Well, obviously short form videos, but particularly short form videos that have challenges or have music or have humor. Things like that tend to contribute to virality on TikTok. LinkedIn, another great resource. Professional and insightful content tends to resonate more with that audience, and so you want to create professional content, something that's insightful, something that a business oriented entrepreneurial audience might find interesting. Optimize your content for the various social media platforms that you're trying to engage with. That's number 8. Number 9 is this is a big one if you want to contribute to your content going viral, and that's this: collaborate with influencers and collaborate with communities. Collaborate with influencers and collaborate with communities. Influencer marketing is a huge thing right now. And if you're involved in influencer marketing, that can absolutely amplify your content's reach. And so, what you do, if you have the opportunity to do so, and there's plenty of opportunities to do this, you partner with influencers, people who already have an online presence, people who already have content that's getting noticed and it's out there. You partner with influencers, or in a similar way, you engage with some niche communities. And when you do that, it increases your credibility. It also contributes to your visibility. And this is lovely when this happens, and I hope this happens for you. But if an influencer shares your content, their audience is very likely to engage with it. Think about the things that you've clicked on in the past that someone of influence shared. What did you do? Or what did you think? Like, if that person shared it, were you interested in it? Most likely you were. That will increase your chances of going viral. And I'll tell you what sometimes works. It doesn't always work to do this, but I have had some success doing this. This can be a particularly helpful approach to take if you make that person, that influencer, or that community look good in your post or in your content. Sometimes I've had people do this for me when I've interviewed them for some of my shows, or when I'm highlighting something for them, or if they have like a new book or a new album or something like that. If I promote it, they oftentimes promote me. So it could be a win-win when you collaborate with either influencers or communities, like niche communities around some of your favorite topics. That's number 9. Number 10 is this. We're in the final third here. Post at the right time. Posting at the right time definitely contributes to virality. Timing absolutely matters. So the idea is post when your audience is most active, because if you do that, you're going to increase engagement. So some people try and use analytics to figure out the best time to post different things. And admittedly, different companies share things at different times. You could post something on Facebook today that someone won't see until like 3 days from now. I understand that sometimes happens. But you could use some analytics to determine the best time to post. But here's a rule of thumb. Generally, if you post at very obvious times of the day, so mornings when people are first going to be checking things, that can be a good time. Lunch breaks in your time zone can also be a good time. And then evenings, around dinner time, something like that, or a little bit past dinner time when people are starting to unwind. If you post at the right time, that can absolutely contribute to your virality. Number 11 is this: use SEO and sometimes hashtags, search engine optimization. That's what we mean by SEO. So you want to optimize your content for search engines, and you want to optimize it for social media discoverability. Sometimes you use hashtags to do that. So if you add relevant keywords to your blog post, if you add descriptions, if you add captions, that can certainly help. Hashtags, depending on the site, also help categorize your content and might increase visibility, especially on Instagram and TikTok. But I will make a note here. X recently, so Elon Musk himself actually said something about this. He recently announced that hashtags are becoming less relevant on X. They're just making it so that it can search the content based on the regular words that you use in any given post. So apparently on X, we don't have to worry about hashtags that much any longer, but it does work on the other things like Instagram, TikTok, and some of the others. All right, number 12 on the list is this: engage with your audience. If you want your content to go viral, make a pattern of engaging with your audience, because when you interact with your audience, that boosts both engagement and visibility. So all you do is you respond to comments, you ask questions, you participate in discussions. The more engagement your post receives, this particularly works well on YouTube. So if you're engaging with people, if you're interacting with people, the more engagement your post receives, the more likely it is to be shown to a larger audience. I've noticed one particular video of mine that was viewed over 1 million times on YouTube. I noticed when I engaged with the comments, it got more interaction, and YouTube would share it more. When I stopped engaging with the content, the comments, it stopped being shared as much. So engage with your audience. Number 13 on the list of virality is this: encourage user-generated content where that's possible. User-generated content creates a sense of community. It increases shares. People like to see the stuff they've created being posted. I'm in an online group related to personal finance, and most of the group is basically users sharing their own content. It's not content being shared by the group moderators. It's users sharing their own content. But what's happening is it's increasing shares because people like the user-generated content and they're sharing each other's content. It's great. And so if you have a way to encourage your audience to create content related to your brand or a challenge that you're running or a campaign that you're facilitating, that's fantastic. Do that. You could also start up things like contests. You could do some giveaways. You could use some branded hashtags as well for promoting user-generated content. All of that is useful, but encourage user-generated content if you want to contribute to your content going viral. 2 more on the list. We're burning through them. Here's number 14: experiment and analyze performance. I believe things like this need to be tested so that you start noticing patterns with your content. Not all of your content is going to go viral, and that's okay. So what you want to do is you want to test different formats, you want to test different styles, you want to test different topics, and then observe, look at the analytics and see what's working best, and then create more content based on what your users seem to enjoy. There are analytic tools that can help track performance. Some of those things are built into the software and programs that we're using. It could also identify some trends in engagement. And basically, you just kind of test and see what works. And once you start noticing what works, then you keep creating more of it. I know a guy who has a channel that basically, it was supposed to be about family finance, and basically it's turned into a channel that just celebrates when people pay off their mortgage, because he noticed that the videos that were going viral for him were videos where he highlighted people that pay off their mortgage. So he just started creating more of those videos because he's like, this is apparently what people want. It wasn't his original vision for the channel, but now that he realizes that that's what's working, he just keeps creating more content along those lines. The final piece, however, that goes into creating viral content, the final thing that's an important step to keep in mind, and that's this: be authentic and unique. Do not be a copycat of what other people are doing. Be authentic and unique. Authenticity resonates with audiences. People appreciate genuine, relatable content much more so than they appreciate overly polished things or salesy posts or things like that. People are done with that. That is old news. That is not what people want. So let me just encourage you to find your unique voice. You have no competition. Just be you and create content that aligns with your brand's personality and values. And don't be afraid to be you. There are people that will absolutely gravitate to you with all your quirks and with all your idiosyncrasies and all of those things. People like that stuff. Don't be afraid to be you. I tell you what, that's 15 things on my list here. We made it to the end of the list, but let me just wrap up by saying this. Creating viral content is a mix of strategy, creativity, timing, all of those things swirled around together. There is no guaranteed way to make something go viral, but I am convinced that if, for the most part, you follow the principles that I just outlined here, combined with being very consistent. I create content daily for some of my channels, and some of my channels I create content weekly, but very regularly. I'm creating content all the time. If you follow these principles and combine them with consistency, it's going to increase your chances in having some of your content go viral. Again, focus on emotional engagement. Use high quality visuals. Focus on trending topics. Think about interacting with your audience. All of that. You want to keep experimenting. You want to keep learning. You want to keep adapting your strategy. And that's going to help you maximize your content's impact. You could be persistent. I know you can. You could be creatively persistent along the way. And if you do this, if you're persistent and if you're creative, you might be surprised to see which pieces of your content catch on in a big way. I am convinced that that could work out for you. I've had it work out for me. I've had it work out for other people that I know, love, and appreciate. And I'd love to see that happen for you. One final thing, because I know that this is a lot to digest. If you head over to platformlaunchers.com, you will see a whole bunch of content that we have there that'll help you along this journey. If you're looking to build, grow, and monetize your online platform, we want to hear from you. Stop by there, take a test drive of our members club. You get to join us on our live calls and use our training vault of all sorts of content. We have a whole bunch of other freebies, including our 21-day platform development planning guide. That's free right there on the homepage. Just stop over to platformlaunchers.com, make use of it, and we'll help you build your online business. But that's it for us this week. Thank you so much for jumping on here with us. It's always fun to be able to engage with you week after week, whether it be on YouTube or our podcast or wherever you access this content. Thanks so much for doing this. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope something you create goes viral and helps you build your brand. And I look forward to catching up with you again right here next time. Take care.